Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. You're back with Darren at Green Pro Clean. Today we're going over vehicles. And Driveway Developments just said, just thought it would be interesting to hear your thoughts on how expensive a van to buy. I know people with £3,000 vans, £3,000 vans, cleaning £5,000 of windows a month, and I've heard of some with £45,000 vans on lease, doing less than £2,000 a month. Yeah, I've heard the same sort of thing. Rob Binney also says, any advice on vans would be much appreciated. My advice on vans, guys, is buy what you can afford. Honestly, buy the one that's right for you. Buy what you can afford. Now, if you're wanting to build up a beast of a round where you're cleaning dozens of customers every day, you're going to at some point need a 1,000-litre tank in the back. There's no point buying an Escort 55 van or one of those little Peugeot vans, little Citroen vans, whatever they are, because they don't have the payload. If you're going to need a 1,000-litre tank in the back, you're going to need a van that can handle a 1,000-kilo payload along with all the other accessories, etc. The vans that I buy Renault Trafics. When I started out and had the money to be able to buy a van, I tracked one down for £3,000, well used but in good condition. It had the full service history. It had every single stamp in the book from a dealer. It had every single piece of paper from the MOT, every single MOT, every single advisory, every single receipt for every single part ever spent or ever bought for it, I should say. Now this is key because it shows that the van's been taken care of. You'll find a second-hand van perhaps on the eBay or the Facebook there, and you'll contact the person. Oh yeah, of course mate, yeah, always been serviced, yeah, first 3 years dealer service, and then I've been looking after it myself for the last 5 years because I was superb. No, of course I ain't got no receipts or nothing, but yeah, you can trust me. Yeah, no. That basically means it's been ragged to hell, it's a dog, it's about to die, so don't bother with it. Don't get me wrong, there are some people out there with great mechanical knowledge that can do all this stuff themselves. I ain't one of them. But, oh, that cockle, he's, yeah, Sunday lunch. Anyway, that's the thing with it, you know. People are like, yeah, you can trust me, mate. Yeah, I did all the service. Yeah, no, don't. In fact, I believe in the UK still you can pay that AA, a small fee. They will send somebody out to give it the once over for you, to give you a general brief of the condition. When you buy a second-hand van, yeah, mate, I'll be there at 2 o'clock this afternoon to take a look. Then turn up a couple of hours early. Reason being, you want to try and catch the van with the engine stone cold, absolutely stone cold. So when you turn that key on the first turn of the day, that's when you'll get to hear any of the funky sounds. Now, you don't need to be a mechanic to know if an engine sounds off. Once an engine's thoroughly warmed up, a lot of those sounds could dissipate, disappear, and you may well not know till the next day or the day after. Get it as cold as can be. Turn it over, have a little listen. Any telltale signs, anything that you're a bit like, that don't sound quite right, don't buy it, walk away. Do not buy anything where they will not allow you to test drive it. I went to buy a car once and the fella's like, come on, we'll go for a drive. And he started by driving it, which I thought was all well and fine. And then we got a good few miles down the road. I said, well, how about I'll have a go now? And he's like, well, no, because I haven't sold it to you yet. And I'm like, well, you're not going to unless I actually get to test drive it. And he was umming and ahhing, trying not to let me drive it. And then in the end, he let me drive it because he saw I was adamant I wasn't going to buy it unless I got to have a go at test driving it. And it turned out that the power steering pump had gone. So all this time, he was like, yeah, it drives like a dream, innit? He was actually having to fight the wheel really hard to get it to go. And on this particular model, the power steering pump was not cheap. So I ended up not buying it. Now, let's get back to the point of you've got people with £5,000 rounds driving £3,000 vans. Yeah, absolutely. I know plenty of lads with monster rounds driving a cheap van. And the reason being, as long as the van's in good condition, as long as it does what it says on the tin, and you're not one of those people who's so vain you probably think this song is about you, shout out to Carly Simon there, then at the end of the day, what's it matter? As long as your van's in good physical condition and decent aesthetic condition as well, what's the problem? So what, it's a £3,000 van. Then I know some lads who want so badly to look the part that, yeah, they got £2,000 rounds and they're out leasing £45,000 vans. Oh yeah, I've got to have the latest top of the line Vito or Transit Custom or whatever. It's all well and good. If that's your cup of tea and you can afford to do it, do it. It's entirely up to you. But not for me. I'd rather just buy what I can afford and that's it. Big reason I went for Renault Trafics, almost forgot. Back when we started buying them, they had fully galvanised bodies with 11-year anti-corrosion warranties that were transferable. So if I owned the van for the first 5 years and sold it to you, that warranty would transfer to you. And that was a big thing. I love the Mercedes Vitos, but back then, that particular model, year, whatever you want to call it, was Swiss cheese. That they would rust so fast, it was unbelievable, ludicrously expensive. I do also like the Volkswagens, but you're paying for the badge, pure and simple. When it comes to leasing a van, guys, if you go that route with companies like Vanarama or whatever they're called, I'm not picking on them, it's the only one I can think of. Read the small print, reread the small print, get a lawyer to read the small print, then get the lawyer's lawyer to read the small print. Because I know so many lads who go and lease them and the company's like, oh yeah, no, do what you like with it, mate, yeah, just bring it back in decent nick, innit? Well, I heard of one lad who actually, they told him that he could bolt in a tank. What do you call it? Water-fed cold tank, a water tank. They could bolt that in the back. So he did. But then when he returned the van, he removed all of his equipment and it was ply lined when he received it. But he thought, just to be extra safe, I'll get it re-ply lined. So he had all the ply lining done properly at expense to himself and he returned it. And he thought this would hide up, you know, the holes in the floor plan. So the guys go around it with a fine-tooth comb and their little CSI light and having a look under it, and then they spot the holes in the floor pan in the back of the van. At which point they then decide they're going to remove the ply lining. They spot all the holes and the scrapes and scratches. It ended up costing him thousands. Whilst they're sitting there saying to you, yeah, it's all right, you can do this, you can do that. You take it back with the slightest scuff on it, that could be T cut out, for example, and they'll be sitting there going, oh no, that's a full panel respray, that'll be £2,000 added onto your bill. You've got to be so careful with leased vehicles, guys. Honestly, you have to be so careful. I don't mean so careful in the way you treat them, but so careful in what the contract actually says. Now, if you're going to bolt a water tank in the back and your contract clearly does not say in letters this big, you may bolt a water tank in there, tell them to put it in there. Say, if I'm allowed to do it, put it in there, put it in writing, put it in black and white, stating that I can do that, stating that I can drill holes in the floor pan because I'm going to put retaining straps in to secure my tank, etc. Cover your asses, guys. That's all it's about. Hope you found his thoughts on vehicles useful. I still buy pre-owned vehicles. I'm not that bothered. Generally, I buy them from dealerships where people have bought them brand new. They will use them for 2-3 years, whatever it is, before they upgrade them. And these are the people I'm talking about, the people that are so vain they have to have the new van every cycle when the finance is up. Return it to the dealership. I get it for several £1,000 off list, of course, because let's say it was a 20 grand van to start with, second-hand value 3 years down the road, 10 grand, happy days, and they've been well looked after, dealer maintained these days. So that's why I do it. Check all the service history, make sure all the receipts are there, check the MOTs with a fine-tooth comb. Oh yeah, my mate's a mechanic and he looks after it for me. Yeah, really, what's the name of your mate's garage? You know, those kinds of questions, guys. Hope you found it useful. Thumbs up if you did, thumbs down if you didn't. Comments in the box below as always. Where are we at, man? 7th of April. So I'm going to rock and or roll. It is now 6:45 in the morning. It's time to get the water station open for the day. And I'll catch you all in the next video. Thanks for watching. Ciao for now.